Greetings, and I am live at the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland, where the judge is listening to both sides in the Kilmar GARCIA case. And for those of you who might remember, this case is predicated on the Maryland resident Kilmar GARCIA, who was, according to reports, deported via administrative error. Now, those that are coming out there on a 15-minute recess. Hey there, Joy, how are you? I am doing well. Make sure you all tap that button, tap the like, because this is a very, very important case. Right? And we have several people out here waiting for those that are inside to emerge from the courthouse again. This is live in Greenbelt, Maryland, where a judge is hearing both sides as to where. No, Joy, I'm at the courthouse. I am at the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. And that was the, again, Maryland resident who was deported to El Salvador per administrative error. He has been there for a while. He is now in Tennessee. And there are many who are fighting to have him returned to Maryland. According to a couple that have come out of the courtroom, they are in recess, but a decision will not be made today. There has been murmurings that they may bring someone in from ICE. You too, Joy. Thank you. And as you can see, there's a sign right here that someone left. Oh, yeah. You take care as well. And I thought someone very familiar was here. I'm going to check in a minute. So you can see the media cameras here, and I'm actually in a very good spot. And we're just waiting to see what happens. And I am not going to kid you. It is hot and humid. So you have many people from CASA that are here as well. Oh, thank you.
All right, I got my phones on now. Oh, yeah, that's the wrong part.
So this is the front of the courthouse. Thank you for those that have thumbed up this video.
Yeah, so we had 3 people come, and then there's hardly from the United States.
So we are waiting. Some more coming up. Thank you for those thumbing us up. Hey there, Michael. How are you? She's from Telemundo Network. everyone come on in. How are you, Michael? I am doing well. I am live from Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar GARCIA case, where the judge is hearing both sides as to where he may be sent or if he may be deported back. We don't know at this time. Nice to meet you, too. I'm going to go see something really quickly. You all hold on.
Because someone's like,
All right, I am again live, and we have a guest here, and I have her consent. I'll just put her up. Oh, and a beautiful smile. Thank you for joining. Okay, you don't have to say your name, but
I do.
oh, okay.
I'm State Delegate Deni Taveras. Hi, how is everyone?
Oh, we have a state delegate. So your name again?
I'm State Delegate Deni Taveras.
Madam Tavares is here with LEESE live at Greenbelt as we are covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. So, Madam has said that she was in the courtroom, and your perspective, please. And
So
thank you.
it is a trying day. We had a rally this morning, and now I spent the morning in the courtroom uh, to hear the case arguments, and it's concerning, right? Because the big issue is obviously is that they're trying to scare the public about this gentleman, right? And they believe that he is a menace, to society. And the fact is that this is a guy who came to this country as a child, who might not have been the best when he was a kid, and was able to settle, uh, get out of trouble, get, you know, get married, have kids, get to work, join a union, and, just be a guy about his business and his family. And it makes it seem like no one's redeemable, like no one is able to um, to remake themselves or get a second chance at life, right? And that's my issue with this. And even he was caught illegally. He was basically kidnapped off the streets for
Tennessee
no,
was, oh,
here,
okay. Because I was thinking about
here
the Tennessee.
Right here down the street. He was picked up for wearing a Bulls cap and a Bulls t-shirt. And that's concerning. That tells me that right now the case that's being brought before this court is that for wearing a Bulls t-shirt, he can now end up in South Sudan. And that's the argument that's being brought before this court today.
Okay, so that's what I was hearing. They're not sure if they're trying to, I think, remove him from Tennessee to bring him back to
Well,
Maryland.
that's the
That's what they're
argument.
rallying.
Well,
Yes.
the argument that the reason why we're here is that there was some trumped up charges that they're bringing up in Tennessee. And they're saying if it had been that serious, it would have been brought before. But they did it while he was still in El Salvador. And so they didn't even have jurisdiction. And so the thing is that it started in April when he was still in El Salvador. So the thing is, why are we trying this case in Tennessee when it should really be tried from the minute he lost his freedom, which was Maryland? So
Okay.
they should try this case before a jury of his peers. His peers are here in Maryland, not in Tennessee. And that's the argument that's being brought before this court. And frankly, in my opinion, DOJ is doing a weak job of defending its position that this case should be tried in Tennessee.
Now, have you had any feeling that Paula Zenas, and she's on the bench, correct? Still on the bench?
Uh, I didn't I didn't capture the name of the judge, but
Because I know that she has been fighting strongly for this to actually just go away. And of course, that was poo-pooed by the administration.
well, I'm not a lawyer,
Hmm.
so I'll let you know I'm a scientist by by degree and an urban planner. But what I can say to this is that as someone who is of an immigrant background, and I'm seeing this at a larger scale,
Hmm.
not just this young man that was legally here in this country, legally here in this country when he was captured and kidnapped. Um, the issue I'm seeing is where is this gentleman's due process? Because at the end of the day, that's what we really have to talk about, right? That there needs to be due process to how things are done. While there were a lot of complaints about President Obama and his handling of immigration, there was no objections to the fact that he did it respecting everybody's legal civil rights. Here, there it's like you could just be picked up walking while brown or walking while black. I mean, there is simply no rhyme or reason to what's going on right now. And to have people with literally unmarked cars, covered faces, masked faces, no badges, no tags, no numbers, no warrants, nothing, just picked up randomly in the streets. And at this point, basically, to be taken immediately to some kind of concentration camp far away so you don't have access to your people, you don't have access to rights so that you could have a way to defend yourself. They're basically playing a shell game so you don't have access to due process and then send you off to anywhere. And if they're not doing that, then they scare you into self-deporting.
I
So,
heard about that
so
as well. I think
basically,
they was offering a stipend for those that agreed to self-deport, if you will.
exactly, so that they
Hmm.
could say that, oh well, uh, if you don't self-deport, we'll send you to South Sudan.
Hey
Oh,
there, Dee Darrell. How are you? We are live at Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar Garcia case. And again, ma'am, introduce yourself. We have a very important individual I'm interviewing.
hi everyone again. I'm State Delegate Deni Taveras, and I represent Prince George's County in the State House. This has been a really trying time for the community here in the state, and nationwide as a whole. So I've held webinars regarding what are your rights, and you as a bystander, what you can do or what you should do if you see somebody being kidnapped, because we do need to start collecting data of these agents, their cars, their badges, their license plates, the time that they what occurred, if they are beating up people, and if they even showed warrants. So we need to know how they're coming in, and they're willing to lie. They're doing anything and everything that they can.
Which is a great segue to this question, and I won't impose on any more of your time. The correlation with being involved or affiliated with MS-13,
Yes,
and we do know that for years in the Maryland area and all over, but concentrated a lot in Maryland, there has been, it's been inundated with these gang members. Your thoughts as to the correlation to MS-13 and Mr. Garcia?
yeah. Well, that I can't speak to because what I do know for sure is that he hadn't had any priors here, with other than the exceptional. Like I guess he was. There was an incident in the city of Hyattsville that they did but nothing came of it. And my understanding, it might have been like for a purchase of weed or something like that.
Okay.
So I mean, and frankly, I don't mean to make light of this, but we're now in a situation that we've known how weed has adversely affected our communities. I mean, not everybody is in favor of the situation, but we have been legalized
Yes.
in the state.
And we have many, many, many dispensaries,
And we have
almost
many,
more than churches
well,
in
I
many
mean,
areas.
I have my own opinions about that as well. I'm not necessarily, so let me just
Yes.
leave that there.
Okay.
But I do feel strongly that if somebody is committing crimes through MS-13 or any other gang activity, I'm with any public official, like any public official. I want to deter crime. I want to take down these gangs, and I want to put them away. I don't have a problem with that. But first, we need to prove that this individual was committing a crime, because it seems like to me, like any other person, he might have smoked when he was young, but as he got older, has children, has a wife, has a job, the older you grow, the less you smoke. That's what it seems like to me. You may want to ask her yourself, but it doesn't seem like that's something that from what I'm hearing. And I know people who know him personally, know his children, know that, the school where he drops off his children to school. He's a family man. That's the impression that he's given in our community,
Yes.
like where he lives, which is not too far from here. So, I mean, and I know people who know him. And based on what I'm hearing from those people who are civic leaders, the guy is great. So I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry. Everybody deserves a chance to be redeemed. And this guy, luckily, he hasn't any priors. So yeah, if whatever he did as a child is not what he's doing as an adult, a full-fledged adult male. He's taking care of his family and his responsibilities. And he's a tax-paying citizen here. Hello.
Well, thank you so much, Madam Tavares, for your insight, and I'm going to wait for some more to come out and see what happens. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you so much, and let's keep protecting our immigrants that are such a core to the community. They are people who are here to work hard, and they are. Let me just tell you a little bit, because I'll say this before I leave.
Sure.
I commissioned a study here for Prince George's County on new Americans in the county, and what I found was astonishing. That 6.9%, $6.9 billion of earnings come from new Americans. 6.9 billion in income, 9.1%. Earned income is 6.9. 5.1 billion in spending power, 1.8 billion in paid taxes, and 12 billion in GDP to the county. That's one in every $5 that comes to this county is through the hands of a new American.
Wow.
So if these people were to leave, and I think that the government, the federal government is miscalculating that. That is, how do we close those Medicaid gaps? How do we close those Social Security checks for our seniors? Is through the money that those people contribute, because they don't see money at the end of it, but our people do here.
Absolutely.
And so that's what concerns me the most, because there is an interlinkage between how do we take care of our seniors and how these immigrants operate here in the county.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. All right. That was State Delegate Tavares, who took time out of her busy day, and I'm sure she'll have more interviews when people come out. Again, we are here in Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. Thank you to those that have come by. Get back to my space. And Carl Belton. Hey, how are you?
They're all over. It'll be like kings, right? So we would love you to come and speak. We'll partner in any way with us.
And there is State Delegate Tavares, who I just interviewed. Again, thank you so much for that insight.
No.
And that was actually an exclusive for me. You never know who you may meet when you're out. So again, they are on break. And from what I've been hearing from those who have emerged from the courtroom, that a decision will probably not be made today. And perhaps an ICE agent may be brought in. We shall see.
Yeah, even before we way back, I couldn't get.
And it was raining earlier, but
Yeah,
it's partly cloudy now.
Some individual, his name is Josh.
We should have breakfast. I don't know.
And there are quite a few people out here. And she's from Telemundo.
Yeah.
What is your email address?
I'm purple. He's probably good because he knows the bolt. He's doing the digital one.
Bueno, mi gente, I gotta get going.
Yeah, and you were amazing cheering us on. You did good. Okay, purple, violet. Dawn,
Everyone's waiting for more people to emerge from the courtroom. We're not sure how long that may be. But again, I am live
I'm at 406.
covering the Kilmar GARCIA case. The resident from Maryland who was deported
You guys from day one, and that's what I.
by administrative error, according to the DOJ, to El Salvador. He is now in Tennessee, and the arguments on both sides are where he should go. I heard someone earlier saying that they may deport him immediately, so we're not quite sure yet as to what is going to happen.
You send them in, just so we give you, if you guys want to be.
Those of you coming in, please make sure you double tap that screen, please. And thank you.
The 17th, July 17th.
This case indeed will set a precedent. And as you heard from State Delegate Tavares, they're setting up where they're going to start recording and reporting unmarked cars if those that are stopped, if they have any warrants. So they're about to wage their own way of fighting back these cases.
You guys have a problem and more direct contact for you so that because I have been writing for a long time, because I would always be delayed in what was going on, right? And I knew, so sometimes I didn't hear from you, I just knew there was something, I was watching the court and I figured you'd be here, and if you weren't, I was gonna stand up and hard. Okay. Yeah, that's my appropriation. Okay. Yeah, let me know as soon as you can.
Yeah,
Like
I just let them know. And
Bye.
bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Nos vemos. Chao.
Bye-bye.
No, and we would, like I said, we would love you to be a part of the final part of it. We're not happy. I don't think many of us are.
And as you can see, I have a very good seat.
3% Kool-Aid drinkers.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I know. After this, right?
But again, greetings everyone.
You won't serve
Happy
it.
Monday, happy Monday to one and to all. Prayerfully you all are doing well, and give yourselves a round of applause for making it to and through another day. I am live at the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland, where the judge is hearing arguments from both sides as it relates to Kilmar GARCIA. Looks like a marshal has just come to one of the doors. But no one else is coming out at this time.
Yes, the challenge is that we don't have anyone inside they can talk to. And can you guys, there might be some good feedback that we may not remember after.
Hey everyone, those that are coming in, please make sure you double tap. I am live in Greenbelt, Maryland, covering the Kilmar, or a portion of the Kilmar GARCIA case. And for those of you who may not be familiar, this is a case involving the Maryland resident who was deported to El Salvador per administrative error, per the DOJ. We have had Maryland congressmen visit El Salvador in the attempts to bring him back to Maryland. He is in Tennessee right now. Where a lot of this actually began when he was pulled over and accused of trafficking. So, okay, we just heard that they're just finished. Just finished. All right, we just heard it. They just finished. So, we should see quite a few people coming out. Again, this is in reference to Kilmar GARCIA, and hopefully everybody won't get in front of me really quickly. But they have just finished, and as I mentioned earlier, people have said that the judge will not be ruling today. They may bring in someone from ICE. And we will see what happens. Thank you for joining, everyone. Again, those that are coming in, please make sure you hit the like button as the session is over today. So you hear different opinions of those that are out here. Again, this is Delegates TV, also known as LEESE, reporting live from the courthouse in Greenbelt, Maryland on the Kilmar GARCIA case. And you actually see more people emerging from the courthouse. And earlier, I had the pleasure of speaking and interviewing State Delegate Deni Taveras. So those of you that may catch the replay, please make sure that you have a chance to listen to what it is she had to say.
Because I'll clip it. What about behind you?
And we have more coming out of the courthouse.
Yeah, I don't mind. If you give it to me, I'll take that. Because it stays up. You'll see what I do. I put it on if I can. And I may have
So Thursday. Hello. Oh, looks like it's going to go into Thursday.
If you just stand right here.
Hello, B Gaming. And I'm getting footage from the Kilmar GARCIA case. Not sure if anybody will be coming to the mics or not, but there are people preparing, so we shall see.
Hey, I just want to touch base. So, they're punching the full Thursday. Basically, what she just said.
And they're coming out. A lot of coughing, but I'm doing well. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can hear me clearly.
Okay, so I'm checking 1, 2, 3, testing to make sure. Yes. I know no sounds of stories.
Looking good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still got it? Still moving? Good.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can you guys hear me on the side?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, I'm all done.
Good job.
There are several out here be gaming. And I'm going to get a photo of this. Hello, ma'am. I'm not going to get you in that. Just want to get. Oh, you want me to?
Huh?
I said I wanted to take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will you send one to us?
Absolutely. All right. This is a poster, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a retired AFT teacher, and she works as an associate in the office representing the.
Did you do this?
No. You know who actually he released it? It's a really neat artist in California, and he made them available. You can get them online, right? You can order the pretty art.
I was trying to figure out what this is.
Isn't that amazing? This is very well. The prison bars.
Kilmar GARCIA was deported during a stop to El Salvador be gaming. And there has been a barrage of incidents as to the legality and if they're going to bring him back. There was a case heard today. However, it appears that it will be continued for Thursday. The judge listened to both sides, and they may bring a ICE agent in.
Just every single time he disrespected her.
Can I join your bed? I don't think I can walk.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. We're gonna start the press conference in about 2 minutes. Just give them a second, after just coming out of court, and then, the attorneys will step to the mic to, answer your questions and give an update on what happened. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everyone, the press conference will be beginning in approximately 2 minutes. Again, this is live from Greenbelt, Maryland Courthouse. And I cannot believe this woman just stepped right in front of me. So I'll move over a little bit. As a matter of fact, let me get over here. It's okay.
At our expense. It's done in our It's so fucking sick. Yeah, right. I mean, you want to take care of
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon, you all. Thank you so much for waiting. As promised, Simon Sandoval Motionberg, one of the lawyers in the courtroom, is going to speak to us about what happened, what to expect, where do we go from here. So Simon, please Come on up.
Hi, thanks very much. My name is Simon Sandoval Moschenberg. I'm a partner at the Murray Astoria Law Firm in Fairfax, Virginia. The last time that Kilmar Garcia was put on an airplane, he did not know where that airplane was flying to until it landed at the airport in El Salvador. What we're trying to do here is to make sure that that doesn't happen again a second time. The government has expressed that as soon as Mr. Abrego Garcia is released from criminal custody, which we are confident will happen next week, their intention is to redeport him to a third country. Which one? I don't know. It's now been 2 hearings at which they've reiterated that and stated that, and yet they've declined or said that they don't know which country. So for about the 5th or 6th time in this case, the government is trying the trick of sending its lawyers into court with inadequate information, with insufficient information, right? Under the Convention Against Torture, Kilmar Abrego Garcia has the right to not be sent to a country in which he will suffer torture, but also to not be sent to a country that will in turn immediately redeport him to El Salvador, where he will again be imprisoned and CICOT and tortured there in the manner that he described in his amended complaint. This time, Judge Zinnes was not willing to let the government lawyers get away with saying, we don't really know, we don't know where he's going to be sent, we don't know what the plan is. And so what she ordered is that on Thursday afternoon, a Department of Homeland Security official is going to have to come before this court and answer questions and tell the court what the actual plan is for Mr. Abrego Garcia. If they want to deport him to a third country, they need to name that country, and they need to describe the process by which they're going to give him due process, which is to say, an opportunity to state a defense, to raise a case before an immigration judge as to why he shouldn't be sent to whatever that third country is. If the government already has a plan for due process and they articulate that to the court, Judge Zinnes said, that's fine. Okay, I'll be fine with that. But if the government does not have a plan to provide Mr. Abrego Garcia with due process, then Judge Zinnes is going to have to order that he be given that due process. So all of that is in service of making sure that they don't do the same thing twice, which is to say, put him on a plane without any notice of where that plane is going. This is not a hypothetical fear. This is exactly what happened to the people who were sent to Libya. This is exactly what happened to the people who were sent to South Sudan. And the government considers that they can do this in any case. When we first picked up Mr. Abrego Garcia's case, we thought it was like a crazy, one-off, never going to be repeated type of situation. And what we learned in the months since then is it was actually just the tip of the spear. Hundreds upon hundreds of Marylanders who have prior grants of withholding of removal, right, who have previously won their cases in immigration court, are now being arrested by the Trump administration. In Mr. Abrego Garcia's case, they sent him to the one country they weren't allowed to send him to, El Salvador. That blew up in their face. They're not doing that anymore. And now what they're doing is this whole third country gambit, where they send people to really random third countries to which they don't have any connection to. And there have been dozens and dozens of lawsuits before this court, to the point that the Trump administration is suing this court to try to prevent this court from putting in place reasonable stays so that individuals like Mr. Abrego Garcia can't be deported to third country without even breathing room to file applications for protection. So what we thought was really just a one-off case has turned out to be actually really sort of the core of what the government is trying to do to remove people who previously won their cases, remove those people from the United States. We're not going to allow it to happen a second time to Mr. Abrego Garcia, just like we're fighting back in all of these other cases to prevent people who've been granted protection in this country from being removed to random third countries. And that's what this court is now going to have to decide in the case of Mr. Abrego Garcia.
Simon Thomas Gerald from Fox 5. In court, U.S. Attorney said they couldn't tell what third country it would be. Do you believe them? Do they know what they want to do, or are they just not telling the judge?
Since day one of this case, the government's strategy has been to send its lawyers into court with, no information or insufficient information, right? So when the Department of Justice lawyers say that they don't know where he's being sent to, that could be. But if that's the case, it's the result of a deliberate strategy by the Department of Homeland Security not to communicate with the lawyers who are going to court.
Do you think they'll tell you on Thursday where they're going to send him, where they plan to?
They're going to have to put a witness under oath. I don't think the judge is going to really put up with any prevarication.
If the concern is about what happens next, and I know he's set to be released next week in Tennessee, would you rather see Mr. Abrego Garcia remain detained in Tennessee if the concern is that he is picked up again and deported to some third country?
2 weeks ago, Mr. Abrego Garcia's criminal legal defense team needed to essentially file a request postponing the release out of Tennessee, just to give this court time to act, right? To give Judge Zinnes sufficient time to hold today's hearing. At today's hearing, she determined she needs an evidentiary hearing. You know, she's doing that on Thursday. It's an incredibly compressed time frame. I'm confident that she's going to rule on our motion to bring him to Maryland prior to July 16th.
So, Simon, just to be clear, then you believe when you said that you expect that his attorneys in Tennessee will drop their request that he be held in U.S. Marshals custody, that they will drop that request and then he'll be taken into ICE custody?
So the criminal attorneys in Tennessee requested that he be held in detention, in criminal detention in Tennessee through the next hearing in that case, which is on the 16th of July, which is next week. That's why we're asking this court to rule prior to the 16th of July on our motion, and what the motion is asking for is that when he be released from criminal custody in Tennessee, he be brought here into this building.
And if I can follow up, when the government said they're not going to, and they didn't use these words, but they're not going to pursue the criminal case if he's deported to a third country, what does that say to you?
Yeah, I don't really want to comment on the criminal case, but it was quite revealing at the start of the hearing when the government lawyer seemed to imply that the indictment was at least in part, sort of posturing for the government. That was a very interesting moment, but I'll leave comments on the criminal case.
¿No nos puede explicar en español lo que esperan para el jueves?
Por supuesto. La última vez que Kilmar Abrego García fue subido a un avión, él no sabía a dónde iba este avión, sino hasta que el avión aterrizó en el aeropuerto de El Salvador. Lo que estamos peleando ahorita es para que esto no vuelva a suceder. No a El Salvador, sino un tercer país con el cual él no tiene ninguna conexión. Sería México, sería Libia, sería el sur de Sudán, sería algún otro país que ni siquiera hemos imaginado todavía. Lo que el gobierno está diciendo actualmente es que lo quieren enviar a un tercer país, pero no saben, supuestamente ni siquiera saben cuál. Entonces es la estrategia que han utilizado desde el principio de este caso, que es mandar abogados a la corte que no tienen información directamente de la agencia de Departamento de Seguridad Interna. Esta vez la jueza dijo que no está conforme con esto y por lo tanto ordenó que el jueves viene un alto oficial del Departamento de Seguridad Interna con conocimiento personal de cuál es el plan para Kilmar Abrego García. Ahora no van a poder esconder detrás de el jueves ya no van a poder esconder detrás de sus abogados. Un oficial va a tener que levantar la mano derecha